That's Sean Combs' birthday. It's also the day that Mia testified she was first sexually assaulted by Sean Combs. She said it happened at the Plaza Hotel here in New York City when they were in the penthouse. She said Combs pulled her alone into the kitchen, put his hand up her dress, and forcibly kissed her when she did not want him to.
People reported that the Playboy Mansion was rumored to have a series of underground tunnels that connected the mansion to other homes in the area. However, one staff member told the site that the tunnels were closed up in sometime in 1989.
The officers found strange items on the floor, such as children's clothing.
Uncovered tunnels underneath his house.
Diddy's?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Day 12, the tunnel discovery that left the courtroom frozen day. 12 of the Diddy trial just ended, and not a single person walked out of that courtroom the same. Testimonies revealed disturbing sexual rituals and psychological torment happening under the cover of night inside Diddy's mansions. Homeland Security confirmed the unthinkable: underground tunnels linking Diddy's properties to other celebrity homes. But what chilled investigators most was a tunnel discovered earlier that morning, one connecting Diddy's Miami mansion to the old Michael Jackson estate. Inside, they found children's clothing and bizarre items strewn across the floors. Who is victim number 4? Why is she so afraid of Diddy? And perhaps the most haunting question: how did Katt Williams predict all of this almost a year ago?
Uncovered tunnels underneath his house.
Diddy's?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
Here's my swimming pool. So obviously right now you can't make out how big this place actually is. Stick around to the end of this video. We're gonna watch sunrise and check out the exterior. Alright, let's see the inside of this place. In the backyard, I stumble upon a dark set of stairs leading down under the house, right into the basement. It smells like mildew here in the basement. It's not a good sign. The air is getting cooler as I walk through the open door, swallowed by the darkness. Faint hum of a machine immediately catches my ear. Perhaps the HVAC system left on to fend off the mold creeping through the lower levels. I don't know about this.
Guys, they found underground tunnels at Diddy's homes. This was first brought up by Shadow of Ezra, where he talked about the underground tunnels in Diddy's luxurious Los Angeles mansion. It was an underwater swimming tunnel leading to a mysterious grotto reminiscent of an ancient and modern human use of caves. Now this is all alleged, of course, but they say that this tunnel connects to the Playboy Mansion. You guys remember that? Hugh Hefner, the guy who lived with all those women in his mansion? No available evidence right now. However, reports are noting that Combs' mansions do have a pool with an underwater swimming tunnel. They say it's not connected to the Playboy Mansion, but there is a reason why the Playboy Mansion keeps coming up. 10 years ago, they were building underground tunnels to the Playboy Mansion for people like Jack Nicholson for his birthday. So this way, they don't have to go through the outside, but go underground in secret to the Playboy Mansion to do God knows what. You can see the sketches here of these underground tunnels being built. They were working on it, and it was supposed to connect celebrities like Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, Michael Jackson, just to name a few. As reported by People magazine, these underground tunnels to the Playboy Mansion were sealed off in the 1980s.
Katt Williams knew 8 months before the arrest. On January 3rd, 8 months before Diddy was arrested in a New York hotel, Katt Williams dropped a bombshell interview with Shannon Sharpe. It now has over 89 million views. In it, Williams exposed the names, methods, and inner workings of Hollywood's darkest circles. He named Diddy directly, alongside several high-profile co-conspirators. The interview sparked a wave of attention, and not long after, an official investigation was launched. For decades, Katt walked among the Hollywood elite until he decided to blow the whistle.
Ben Affleck actually recently walked away from J-Lo because these allegations were coming out.
And isn't there even some concern that, or proof that Pastor T.D. Jakes?
Well, I'm getting right there. So there's this big list that Diddy said, I'm not going down alone. Because Katt Williams went on a podcast a while back, and Katt Williams, who is a well-known comedian in the black community for a long time, he went on a podcast and basically just regurgitated all this information that was just so valid. He said, all these people, he said, you got God on one side, then you got the other side. And he said, the other side, they're all going down in 2024. And he mentioned that he was offered $50 million 4 separate times to join in with these Diddy parties to basically be sodomized. Turned it down every time.
To help his career.
To bring his career to the next level.
Motherfuckers be gay in Hollywood, you never expected. They be having these big ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited and I'm gonna be at the mansion party. You be looking at all the goddamn rooms, and you around and look in the wrong room and Nick, come here. Is that two kissing? All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TD Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. Because in 30 years I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing, no, somebody come to tell me.
Okay.
I gather that, I value that, I'll pay for that. Tell me. I know so many things I should know, and they all know it.
Diddy's escape plan, the tunnel theory. In March 2024, federal agents raided Diddy's mansions, but he wasn't arrested until nearly 6 months. Later, why the delay? Leaked reports suggest Diddy fled through secret underground tunnels beneath his Miami estate. These tunnels allegedly connected his home to the infamous Playboy Mansion, tunnels long believed to be sealed. Official investigations, as usual, turned up nothing. But when Diddy's name is involved, evidence has a way of vanishing.
I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TD Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Good, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm good because I know the truth.
TD Jakes, do not speak against homosexuality.
Playboy Mansion link? Old rumors resurface. It sounds like fiction, but reports from March 2024 confirm that Diddy's properties in both Los Angeles and Miami were raided by Homeland Security. His LA mansion sits in Holmby Hills, just blocks from the Playboy Mansion. Rumors of underground tunnels in that neighborhood date back decades. One former staff member claimed the Playboy tunnels were sealed in 1989, but now, whispers say some were quietly reopened. Could Diddy have accessed them?
Interesting how like the media and everyone is trying to say, no, there's no connection. Well, have you guys even figured out if there's a connection yet? I feel like authorities are so stuck in time in the past where like they say, oh, don't look into this, don't investigate this, these claims aren't real. But then we see social media sleuths put together these stories and solve investigations. I'm not saying the authorities aren't smart people, they can figure it out, but sometimes the help from the public can lead to, us actually figuring out the truth. But do the authorities want the truth? It really matters who's at the top and who they're trying to protect. Another conspiracy theory that circulated at the time of the raids was that Diddy escaped through an underground tunnel. I do believe he has an escape route planned when it comes to his Miami property because he can easily access the Bahamas through a boat. When it comes to his LA property, he might have a backup plan, which kind of explains these tunnels.
In case you're wondering where Diddy hosted these parties, specifically the parties that took place underground, I was absolutely shocked to find out that there was an underground mansion with tennis courts, indoor pools, marble everything, a literal ballroom. And this checks out because Ali Carter was talking about this underground ballroom. Like actually, imagine being 5 floors beneath the surface willing to bet there's no cell service. What are you going to do? Scream? Run? Where are you going to go? Actually terrifying to know that this exists. Like, just want to play tennis in my underground mansion. I have no words. It's crazy.
I can't imagine this being real because it seems so dystopian. Per news reports in March 2024, Diddy's properties in LA and in Miami were raided by Homeland Security. Diddy's LA mansion was located in the upscale neighborhood of Holby Hills, the same neighborhood as the Playboy Mansion. However, there is no known underground tunnel connecting the two. According to this report, people reported that the Playboy Mansion was rumored to have a series of underground tunnels that connected the mansion to other homes in the area. However, one staff member told the site that the tunnels were closed up in sometime in 1989. And I don't know why celebrities are so scared to acknowledge these tunnels. They feel like, oh yeah, there's underground tunnels. Cool.
Witness 4 exposed. Was it an inside job? Online sleuths say Diddy's long-term ability to evade consequences isn't just luck, it's protection. Powerful protection. Just yesterday, the identity of Witness 4, one of the trial's most vital witnesses, was allegedly leaked. She worked for Diddy for years and told the court she was terrified to testify. The judge promised anonymity. Less than 24 hours later, her identity was public. Was this a targeted scare tactic orchestrated by Diddy, or yet another coincidence?
By the way, interesting update from court. Sean Combs' counsel, Alexandra Shapiro, says some people on the internet think they figured out who Mia is. We got this video, again, that might be used to impeach her credibility. We got this video also from random people on the internet. We don't think this was ever posted on her social media. It was on some random website. Should we show it to you? I gotta ask you, I have to move on to this question, Serena. This is quite alarming. How is this possible?
I have no idea how it's possible, and I'm sure Mia is probably, panicking in this moment in time. Like, are people stalking her on the internet, trying to figure out her identity? She testified that she was a victim, essentially. There's shield laws that exist to try to protect people in her position, and so this is really getting very nerve-wracking, probably for her, and just absurd for the courtroom.
If someone revealed her identity, is that a crime, Tyler?
No, it's not a crime if somebody revealed her identity, especially if they're not a part of this case. The reason they have these confidentiality orders and protective orders is for the parties involved to do their best to protect a Jane Doe or anybody proceeding under the pseudonym's identity. It is possible for the public to learn their identity, but it's really the who are part of the case who are agreeing to protect her confidentiality. Once you got on that stand, it's very possible that somebody knew her identity. What I find more troubling and less likely is if this video is being sent by random people on the internet, now, and that's what they want to proffer as evidence in this criminal trial, I find that hard to be admitted. If they can track the video from one person who can confirm the identity of the person, then it can be used for impeachment evidence. That's different. But random people on the internet sending videos, that opens the door to a can of worms.
There's drama playing out behind the scenes at Sean Diddy Combs' sex trial. 2 women prosecutors wanted to call as witnesses are so terrified of retribution from Combs. One went into hiding. The other did take the stand, but the judge went to great lengths to protect her identity. Les Trent is at the courthouse.
The sons of Sean P. Diddy Combs arrive in court on a day of dramatic testimony from a witness known as victim number 4. This is what we know about victim number 4. She's Diddy's former assistant, and in court, she will be known only by the name Mia. Mia is not her real name. She agreed to testify only if extraordinary measures were taken to hide her identity. Reporters were ordered not to describe her, and get this, even the courtroom sketch artist was ordered not to draw her. Her attorney says she did not want to testify and had hoped that she could take what happened to her grave.
It's highly unusual. You normally see things like this in gang cases, MS-13, the Bloods, the Crips, Mafia cases.
In court today, she told jurors her time as Diddy's assistant was toxic. He's thrown things at me. He's thrown me against the wall. He's thrown me into a pool. He's thrown an ice bucket on my head. He also sexually assaulted me.
Sometimes her voice trails away. It's as though she is in fear still. She testified that she was in fear when she worked for Sean Combs. It almost seems like she's still a bit fearful.
Diddy's sons appear as key witness, testifies Diddy's sons made a quiet but firm appearance in court as victim 4, known only as Mia, gave emotional and graphic testimony. Mia, Diddy's former assistant, took the stand under tight protection. Her revelations were enough to make seasoned courtroom observers shift in their seats.
Has adjourned today in the sex and racketeering trial of Sean Diddy Combs. Today, the defense requested a mistrial following testimony from an LA arson investigator, but the judge denied the request. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
A mistrial request denied in the federal criminal trial of Sean Diddy Combs. His defense team accusing the government of prosecutorial misconduct during the testimony of a Los Angeles arson investigator who spoke about fingerprints that were lifted from the front door of rapper Kid Cudi's home as part of an investigation into a break-in there in 2011. The investigator testifying that those fingerprints were destroyed, and when prosecutors asked the investigator if that was unusual, the defense accused them of trying to plant the idea that Combs was responsible.
The overall implication, according to the defense, is that somehow Sean Combs created that disappearance. The defense moved for a mistrial, and they moved for it because what they said is that it's unduly prejudiced, because this is the whole theory of what the prosecution is putting forth, is that he has this control and can make these investigations disappear.
Instead, the judge striking that part of the testimony, telling jurors to disregard it. Right before, the jury heard from a police officer who responded to that break-in, testifying that he saw a black Escalade leaving the scene with plates registered to Combs' company Bad Boy Productions. The arson investigator also testifying about another incident at Kid Cudi's home in 2012 when his Porsche was set on fire. He testified about the smoke and fire damage in these photos that were shown to the jury and said he determined the fire was targeted and started with a Molotov cocktail. Kid Cudi last week testified he believed Combs was responsible for both incidents after finding out he was dating Cassie Ventura.
Another witness disappears right before trial witness tampering. Disappearances, it's becoming a pattern. Just days before the trial began, witness 3 vanished. This individual had agreed to testify without even requesting anonymity. Then, suddenly, gone. What changed? Or more importantly, who made them change?
Sean Combs, over the years, has made people disappear.
Right. Well, Pierce, let me ask you a question. From your journalistic perspective, have you ever noticed how in this industry, people untimely meet their demise? Soon as somebody else seems like they're having a problem? Have you ever seen that before?
Well, there was, of course, the case of one of his other ex-girlfriends, Kim Porter, who died of pneumonia at a very young age. You just referenced your own situation with pneumonia that you believe was deliberate poisoning. Do you believe that may be what happened to her?
Why are so many people coming down with pneumonia? Why is that happening to everybody? What is that about? Where have you ever seen this many cases of pneumonia associated with one situation? So, you know.
There were rumors.
I'm not saying.
Well, I was going to mention on this that there have been rumors circulating online that Diddy may have poisoned Jamie Foxx, which caused his 2023 hospitalization. In his Netflix show, he compared Combs to the devil in revealing his near-death experience after a brain bleed and stroke. He said, I say this all the time, I saw the tunnel, I didn't see the light, it was hot in that tunnel. I thought I'd gone to the wrong place. I looked at the end of the tunnel and I thought I saw the devil saying, come on, or was that Puffy?
Was Diddy set up by his own masters? Some insiders claim Diddy's downfall wasn't just justice, it was punishment. After decades of loyalty, he allegedly went rogue, turned on the people at the top. And when you do that in Hollywood, they come for you.
He sues Diageo. Diddy filed a lawsuit accusing Diageo of neglecting the De Leon brand, racial discrimination, claiming they marketed it as an urban product and failed to treat him as a true business partner. Then in January 2024, they settled out of court. Diageo and Diego settled the dispute out of court. While details still remain sealed, the settlement marked the end of their business relationship. So this is from 2007 to 2024. 17 years. They have protected him. I don't know. Their CEO currently today is Deborah Ann Crew. She was a former intelligence officer in the military. Once intelligence officer, forever you're an intelligence officer. Who knows what happened? We don't know the relationship. We're not going to make any accusations. All we know is, could this have been a protection where they were at the parties and they knew things that were taking place and are like, wait, what do you want to do to us? No problem. Boom, drop the bomb. I don't know. All I'm saying is the timing is kind of strange. Maybe even they wanted to kind of be like, look, we know what's about to be dropped on this guy. We want to have nothing to do with you. We're out. Here's some money. You stay quiet. We'll pay you, but we want to get out of here. The only thing that the timing's kind of crazy is January 2024, they settle. 2 months later, remember what we're sitting there doing and minding our own business? And you hear, March of 2024, the feds are raiding Diddy's Miami home and his LA home. For what?
Cassie's stylist testifies. We feared for our lives. Court records reveal evidence of blackmail. Cassie's stylist, Deontay Nash, testified under oath that he and Cassie would hide from Diddy out of fear. He witnessed Diddy make violent threats, including threatening to leak their sex tapes to destroy her career. This wasn't just abuse. It was control by terror.
Diddy victim number 2 is saying that she was blackmailed with freak-off videos just like Cassie Ventura. And I've seen a lot of people wondering, are the freak-off tapes going to be played in court for the jury to see? And yes, they actually are. The government is still fighting right now to make sure that these freak-off tapes, when they're played in court, are only going to be for the jury's eyes. They dropped some very interesting information today about these tapes and saying that victim number 2 has proof that she was allegedly blackmailed with these freak-off tapes. In this motion, the government is asking the judge to make sure that people from the press are not able to be in this courtroom when these freak-off videos are played, because they are saying that they are blackmail and they are very explicit videos. Now, the government talked about how Cassie Ventura said that Diddy would record these videos on multiple different encounters and then tell her that he would release these tapes against her. And she found it humiliating and disgusting, and she wanted them deleted off the devices. Now the government is saying Diddy victim number 2, who is going by the pseudonym of Jane, will provide a similar testimony to that of Cassie Ventura's, stating that she did not want to participate in the freak-offs and that she was terrified of anyone seeing the recordings of her engaging in these activities. And the government expects to offer text messages that Jane sent to the defendant's chief of staff on December 28th of 2023. And the chief of staff at the time would be Christina Korn. And she stated, Diddy just threatened me about my tapes and that he has me on 2 phones. He said he would expose me and send them to another person. And then she proceeded to write another text message to Christina Korn. But right now this information is blacked out and it looks pretty long compared to the last text message that they referenced. The government says that these text messages confirm Jane's views of the recordings of her encounters during the freak-off with the same level of honor as Cassie Ventura. And they are alleging that the defendant used those recordings to blackmail both victims, who were and remain terrified of the release of those tapes.
Mia's list. Protect him. Anticipate his moods. Mia, the former assistant known in court as Victim 4, painted a harrowing picture of life under Diddy's command. She described years of abuse, coercion, and blackmail. The court was shown a list she wrote in 2011 titled Job Duties. On it were chilling lines: protect him at all times and anticipate his needs, whims, and moods. What kind of boss demands that?
Hi, I'm Eva Pilgrim. Thanks for streaming with us here on ABC News Live. Week 3 of the Sean Diddy Combs trial has wrapped, and we should note this show will contain graphic content from the courtroom today. 5 witnesses testified this week: 2 former employees, a Los Angeles police officer, fire department investigator, and a celebrity stylist. The latest witness on the stand, testifying under the pseudonym Mia, recounting her time as Combs' former assistant. Mia alleged working for Combs was chaotic, toxic, and dependent on his whim. She told the jury she feared she couldn't tell him no, testifying, I felt I had to. I obeyed Puff's orders. Mia also saying Combs sexually assaulted her more than once, leaving her feeling terrified and confused and ashamed and scared. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges. His defense team says any sexual encounters were consensual. If convicted, Combs faces the possibility of life in prison.
On November 4th, a date of death, abuse, and ritual. November 4th, Diddy's birthday. The same day Mia says she was first assaulted. The same day Aaron Carter mysteriously died. Coincidence? Or a carefully orchestrated date with dark meaning in the underworld of Hollywood power?
Brian Steele, one of Sean Combs' attorneys, asked her a lot of questions about November 4th. What's the significance of that date?
That's Sean Combs' birthday. It's also the day that Mia testified she was first sexually assaulted by Sean Combs. She said it happened at the Plaza Hotel here in New York City when they were in the penthouse. She said Combs pulled her alone into the kitchen, put his hand up her dress, and forcibly kissed her when she did not want him to. And so defense attorney Brian Steele then questioned why she would send Combs all of these birthday wishes. There would be these photo collages. There was even one handwritten happy 45th birthday Puff Daddy and a long handwritten note flattering Sean Combs for all that he had accomplished. And Steele kept coming back to, this was a date that stuck in your mind. And Mia resisted a bit. She said, I knew the date to be Sean Combs' birthday, but she didn't think about it as the date of her first sexual assault.
The Punisher testifies. Diddy ordered the encounters. In a shocking testimony, a male sex worker known only as the Punisher revealed disturbing details from Diddy's secret freak-off parties. He claimed to have been instructed by Diddy on how to be intimate with Cassie on 8 to 12 different occasions, while Diddy watched. The courtroom fell silent as he spoke.
Up on the stand after Cassie's mom stepped down, a man who goes by the name, wait for it, the Punisher. Punisher is an exotic dancer, former sex worker, whose real name is Sheree Hayes. Mr. Hayes told the jury that he got his nickname playing basketball, but his photos, they seem to tell a different story for why he may be using that name today. Kind of safe for work? Almost not safe for work? I wouldn't put it up at work, but that's the Punisher, y'all. Mr. Punisher testified that he was hired by Diddy and Cassie for 8 to 12 different times, things like episodes. And he was meant to create a sexy scene that would last for hours. He said that Diddy called all the shots in these episodes. He didn't call them freak-off, but he described what we've heard as freak-off. He never saw any cameras, he said. He didn't see any violence. And he said, although Cassie would sometimes wince or sigh at some of the sex directions that came from Diddy, he said it didn't seem as though Cassie was there against her will. Again, this is a prosecution witness, so that's kind of, it's on the fence there. He does certainly corroborate the freak-off and what happened in the freak-off, but that whole business about, to him, he wasn't sure if Cassie was into it or not, but he did hear that she winced and that she sighed as Diddy gave a lot of those directions. By the way, the Punisher also said that he never saw Diddy never saw that he seemed drunk or high, which is exactly what prosecutors are trying to show. That this was not just an out-of-control, party of an enlisted megastar, but instead was a clear-eyed criminal enterprise.
Freak-off party photos enter evidence. Diddy can delay it, deny it, but he's running out of time. Prosecutors revealed new photo evidence last week from raids on his homes. Among the items, guns, baby oil, and visuals from his notorious freak-off parties. The images are graphic. The message is clear. The clock is ticking.
Also tonight, our first look inside Combs' Miami mansion, the day federal agents busted the gate open last year to raid it. A federal agent testifying about the evidence, guns and ammo seized from Diddy's home that were found near alleged freak-off supplies, which included dozens of bottles of baby oil and boxes of platform heels, bondage restraints, and bundles of rope. Also photographed as evidence that day, motivational messages on Combs' bathroom mirror that included, "You a legend," and "Upward motion," and lots of drugs, including ones found in plastic bags inside a Gucci bag, and orange tablets with the Tesla logo that tested positive for ecstasy. Now, Combs has pleaded not guilty to all allegations in this case.
So we just got new exhibits today. Take a look at these photos that prosecutors have just released. They're pictures of Diddy's former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, with what she says are bruises on her back and legs, which you can see here, and also a gash above her eye. Also released today, some pictures from when Diddy was arrested in September of last year at the Park Hyatt Hotel in New York. And a special agent with Homeland Security testified last week that some of the items found included baby oil, these pink packets of caffeine. There's also this image of a knife wedged in a door. Now, Combs, we aren't sure if he's going to be taking a stand in his own defense, but he denies all of the allegations against him. But will all of these witnesses really prove the government's charges that he was running this criminal empire and that he's guilty of sex?
The collapse. What they're still not telling us. Diddy's empire is cracking. The tunnels, the blackmail, the vanishing witnesses. And yet, this is only what's been allowed to reach court. Katt Williams warned us. But who else knew? Who else is complicit? And will justice finally reach the highest levels of power? This story is far from over. Subscribe if you're ready for the next chapter.